Hey everybody, welcome back! BogMod here, playing more of The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold, Steel 4. Well, they're talking about recovering Crow again. Now, for those of you who may not be fully aware of who Crow is, Crow was a student from the first game. Slightly older, a bit of a slacker, bit of a layabout, it seemed, bit of a jokester, prankster, bit of a delinquent, one could even say. Turns out, though, he was actually secretly running a terrorist organization devoted to the murder of Gileath Osborne. Amongst their attempted ways to kill him or weaken him, they tried to incite war with Calvard. They tried to use cannons to shoot on a civilian center and kill him in a giant tower. They kidnapped some miners. Am I forgetting anything? Alright, so they did that. They were also teaming up with the Noble faction, the Noble Alliance, who also wanted to get rid of the Chancellor. Crow himself, attempting to personally, in cold blood, sniper assassinate the Chancellor. And he even hit him, took out his heart. It just turned out that putting giant holes through Osborne's chest can't actually stop him, it seems. And he effectively was lying to them the entire time of their relationship with him. And in the end, despite their bonds of friendship, he ultimately sided against them when the chips came down. That is the case of it through the first game. Second game, he continued to work with the Noble Alliance, and though the third game seemed to try to minimize the events of the Civil War, the implication during the second game was that he was an active participant in putting down the rebelling Imperial Army that didn't accept the coup attempt of the Noble faction he was teamed up with. And while the West was portrayed as being particularly violent and dangerous, which was where he was fighting, apparently that didn't play out, but it was supposed to at the time, so I'm not sure which it is. Anyways, and then at the very end, he did help them stop the super evil robot, Divine Knight that is cursed, from going out of control, and died in the process. But he never really joined them.
I like the
but
way
you know, this is a JRPG, so just because somebody has lied to you consistently, sided against you consistently, and actively done horrible, terrible things, once you've been accepted as a friend, there's no escape.
It's not going to be easy, though. Especially with that mobilization law in full effect.
Also, he's like a zombie now, or reincarnated, or I'm not sure what they did to his corpse to bring him back to life.
True, but we can start by investigating that black pleroma grass that sprang up after the ritual.
Looks like all you guys needed was a little kick in the butt and you're back on track.
I'm glad to hear it. That puts my mind at ease.
Yeah, but this is only the beginning.
Like I could, broadly speaking, I could have seen this whole thing playing out basically, in a very realistic sense. I could have seen it playing out. They find out about the thing. They basically are like, it was, Reen's decision, and we respected his choice about what to do. But now that you're awake, and you've had a little bit of time, let's all sit down and plan our next move. And, that would have been entirely realistic and makes sense to me.
Aside from rescuing Instructor,
angry rant at them.
We've still got
Less
to
of the
find
case.
Muse and Ash. And everyone else from the branch campus, too.
You're absolutely right.
We're going to take everything back. Our instructor, our entire world.
This does come across a lot like how, so I marked him on this in Game 3, how Game 3 was duplicating a bunch of the notes from Game 1. Game 4 is replicating a lot of the notes of Game 2 now.
You won't be doing it alone. We'll be there to help you every step of the way.
You have our gratitude for bringing us back to our senses.
Yeah, thanks.
The trial that awaits us will be the ultimate test of Class 7's worth.
And that means all of us. There's no difference anymore between old and new Class 7.
Rose was like, thanks for making me get over my dead dad.
That's right. Our shared goals have united us. And together, we can overcome any challenge.
Right.
And they're also like, oh yeah, and Elisa's right there, and her dad turned out to be evil. And behind everything that happened to Milliam. Which is kind of like how Reen's been dealing with his dad. Ah, that's fine. It's a different context. Somewhere in Erebor airspace. So I think, yeah, like I said, I think the intent of that whole scene was to try to make the new Class 7, who will be the primary focus of this game, keep that focus and be shown to be the primary protagonists. They're the ones who are the doers, and the others are more passive. Ah, the Pantagruel clearly looks like it's being magically cloaked. This is the old Noble Alliance ship. It's very fancy.
"14, 20 hours. We've cleared the 3rd Air Fleet search radius."
Good. Return to alert level 2. Now, full rudder starboard. We're headed north-northwest.
Yes, sir.
This is Vita.
My, they're all so well trained. Every soldier knows his proper place. I can't help but wonder how the Civil War would have turned out if this army of yours had been around back then.
You know what, Vita? I'm going to say the same thing I said last time. I think it still would have played out the same way. That despite the quality of the soldiers, ultimately Osborne was in full control of the war. From the get-go. Aurelia. I like Aurelia.
Can't imagine it would have changed things in the end. At most, we might have prolonged the war for a year.
And I was glad, the first time I saw the scene, that she agreed with my sentiments.
Though if we'd had a more suitable leader, things might have turned out differently.
I do believe you're right.
I don't.
Oh, please. You're giving me too much credit.
They are. Supreme Commander of the Weisland Army, Lady Mildine de Cayenne.
It's only thanks to your generous assistance that I even stand aboard this airship.
And so you claim. But you're the one who arranged all of this.
That's right. The way you see tens of thousands of moves ahead, you could even teach the Blood and Iron Chancellor a thing or two.
Again, they're really trying to play her up in this, but I don't think it's justified, given how he's accomplished everything he wanted to do, and she's not thwarted him in any way.
I imagine you'd make a fine Anguis for the Society if you were so inclined.
Well, I certainly would enjoy meeting the infamous Grand Master in
I would too, actually. This line here, I was like, ooh, yes. More of the Grand Master, please.
However, in the end, I too failed to stop the Great Twilight. Failing to notice that Ash had taken that gun is one of my greatest regrets.
I remember that scene.
That one mistake was all it took. If only I had seen it, I might have been able to stop him.
See, now, I don't think she could have. Even if she had stopped him from getting the gun. We all saw what Ash was doing. He would have just stabbed the Emperor, or taken a gun from a guard.
Perhaps it was simply the will of Adios. Or far more likely, the curse.
And that is also a perfectly legitimate explanation in my mind.
Yes. It's something powerful enough to completely defy the laws of causality. How impressive that you were able to use that very power to devise a counterattack.
Perhaps. But it's an unforgivably cruel plan. No different from taking the entire world hostage. How could I face Instructor Reen or the rest of Class 7 ever again?
I don't know what her plan is yet.
Putting Schwarzer aside for now, what's become of the members of both Class 7s? They ended up escaping to your village, did they not? I haven't heard anything more than that.
Nor have I. At least it seems they made it there safely. Minus Crow and Ash, of course. Though it's hard to say if they'll be able to bounce back after witnessing the worst possible ending firsthand.
They're going to be fine. I'm sure of it.
It's true.
I
They have
believe
protag
in
energy.
Kurt and Altina. They'll inspire the others and shake them out of their despair. Then together, they'll start moving forward. The time I spent with them in class made that more than clear.
So, don't know what she's up to yet. I'm kind of curious about it.
Damn it. I never asked for this.
See, again, it's one of those weird instances where they're like, let's just give him a fake title for a second.
I need to be hidden away somewhere.
And then not, right? Because we had golden-haired boy for a second there.
I'll get myself out.
You almost killed the Emperor. Because an evil curse. It's too bad they didn't capture and execute him.
No freaking way.
Ah, well. We can't have everything we want. Now this part made me curious. I'll tell you why this is particularly interesting a little bit. A little spoiler for like an hour from now. This is the Black Workshop. There's Crow. Crow Armburst.
Ah, there you are. Been looking for you.
Man's voice. But then they just introduce him. So it's one of
just
those.
you guys.
They could have just given him right off the bat. Whatever. Duvali the Swift. Agent of Ered Hod, basically one for knights. Then we have Enforcer number 1 of Ouroboros, McBurn, the Almighty Conflagration. Possibly their strongest member.
What do you mean, just you
Direct
guys?
fighty power.
You got your memories back then? Huh. So, what's your plan now that shit's about to go down?
About that. My contract's up. I'm nobody's pawn anymore. Right now, I'm just the Azure Awakener. And that means I've got my own role.
I'm nobody's pod, but I've got my own role because of the thing that I am.
We've got before it's all over.
Oh yeah?
It's fine, though. Works out well enough for me. Gives me one final shot at getting revenge for my grandfather. But if you're looking for a fight, you better keep walking.
That's a damn shame. Well, if the mood strikes you, you know who to call.
McBurn just likes his fighties. And I respect that about him.
He never fails to get on my nerves. But you, why are you so...
Completely irresistible? Don't tell me you fell for me. Nah, guess not. Your heart already belongs to that master of yours, huh? Unless a certain goody two-shoes went and stole it away.
Absolutely not.
Oh, the
I
blushing.
swear, why is it that you, McBurn, and that ogre girl all treat me like I'm some love-struck little child?
Well, you kinda are.
Aw, I feel... They pick on her. I feel a little bit sympathy for her sometimes.
Anyway...
She just wants to do... She just wants to be a good goon.
What exactly do you plan to do about him?
It's his own problem to deal with.
Ah,
the
now
way
that's...
he is right now, I don't have it in me to bother with
That
him.
is the sign of a true friend right there. Remember you may recall my rant about... Well, not rant, but my story about... My explanation about Crow before. And here we are, talking about Reen. And what's his attitude about Reen? I can't be bothered. Now there's nothing I can do. Just I don't have it in me to bother. His focus primarily on getting his revenge rather than his friends.
You need to get a hold of yourself. Fine.
Poor Reen, of course. He's had a tough life. It's hard to tell, but if you look, you can see his outfit looks torn up, which I think is a great little bit of detail.
Nice work. We're lucky you're here.
You.
Ah, yes, George. Copper George, or as he was known before we found out that he was a gnome, G-Gnome.
Control. I'd suggest keeping him like that.
Like, that was seriously his last name, N-O-M-E.
It won't be much longer.
And his first initial was G.
The rivalries will begin soon.
I don't know what those are yet.
Oh, just shut up! We're not going to be part of your evil scheme!
You say that, Celine, but you probably will. I want to pet her, though. She looks adorably soft. Pet the kitty.
You need to beat this. Come on. Think of all the people who are counting on you, waiting for you to snap out of this.
I mean, look at that. That is a good look to kind of sell his... To sell his doom, his situation. Then we got this again. I know, they gave us 2 opening videos. Which, you know what? Totally okay with 2 videos. I have no idea what the mask thing is about yet. But it makes me, if you remember, when Crow first started working again, showing up, he was in a mask. So I wonder if I actually have some ideas that Reen may be a mind-controlled antagonist for part of the game. And I like this. I like their new looks. They give them a uniform update, and I like it. Especially Kurt, that is a great look. Ouroboros. There's the Ironbloods. And Osborne. There's Evil Reen. He's truly evolved into a white-haired pretty boy. His handsome JRPG protagonist levels have achieved maximum power. Aw, the Crossbell and the Trails in the Sky group. Prologue. Nightfall. The end. Actually, I should have used that moment to pause, actually. Well, we'll pause. We'll see what's happening, and then we'll pause. Yes. Yes. Spooky woods. St. Graal Labyrinth. So I think Graal is just...
Yeesh. This place gives me a serious case of the heebie-jeebies.
Because last time we were in the Graal of Erebos, I believe was what it was called. So I think Graal is just like a fancy word for like a temple or a building. To make it sound mysterious and mystical. Anyways, we'll take our break here. And we'll go into this part next time. Talk to you all soon.